Hi, I'm Jesus Christ, and today I want to address something that's becoming a bit problematic, almost to the point of being disruptive in modern society. And it's something that I'm sure all of you have come across many, many, many times and probably wondered quite a bit about how the hell this phenomenon happens. One common thing may be a friend or family member posts some just fucking crazy shit on Facebook or whatever, and then you reply with like a Snopes article or something else disproving anything from like Obama birth certificate, this weird QAnon conspiracy, uh, Trump's very, very factually inaccurate statements. Many, many inaccurate statements per day, false statistics about immigration and crime and all this crazy stuff that it appears to be entirely, not entirely, but mostly conservative and nationalists who believe these obviously false things, and if you provide them with other information, that's the fake news, or Snopes has a left-wing bias. And the proof of the left-wing bias is that they are always disproving right-wing hoaxes. And you would think that there would be some commitment to truth there, that you would want to actually figure out which fact is true and which one is false, or but they don't. It's the alternative facts are the real ones, and the question is why? Because so many of these people, they're not what you would think of as stupid people. They are often employed, effective people that are often responsible in their life. It's just that they come to believe these things that are very obviously not true, and it's not just like an individual or personality thing. This is happening on a massive scale in not just American but throughout all of society. People are believing by the million things that are obviously not true. And the question is, how did we get to that point? Let me turn to the good book. In class society, everyone lives as a member of a particular class, and every kind of thinking, without exception, is stamped with the brand of a class. What that means is people, conservatives and nationalists in this particular instance, have the thinking stamped of that class, the national bourgeoisie, which, as the class struggle is developing right now, the nationalist class is being torn apart by international capital above it, where the contradiction between the national capitalists and international capital is turning from an alliance to antagonistic, and then the working class on the other side, which is struggling with both the national bourgeoisie and international bourgeoisie. But the national capitalists, who are a class being torn apart right now and are attempting to seize power and break their alliance with international capital, facts just aren't on their side. But it is in their best interest for certain facts or alternative facts to be true. So what happens is, the way the brain works is kind of your subbrain acts in your best interest, or what your subconscious determines to be in your best interest. So it chooses these things which are factually not true, but it intends them to be, so it acts as if they are. That is the only way that so many people can be presented with something where the truth of it is obvious. And I don't want to get into specific examples. Just the next time that you encounter a conservative or nationalist believing something that is obviously not true, and if completely irrefutable proof were to be presented, they would still choose to believe the alternative fact. This is something that you'll probably see by the end of the day. It happens all the fucking time. And it's a result of class thinking, and it's a class that it's losing its fucking mind. It's as class struggle develops, alliances between classes are formed, and they form and take control of states to enforce their class dominance. And the national capitalists, which are represented by Trump, and corporate groups that support him and classes that support him are being squeezed out from both above and below, and they're losing their minds. And all this neurotic, crazy fucking thinking is their attempt to retake full control of the state so that they can use the state apparatus in their best interest to to become the dominant class again that they once were. However, that doesn't happen, and as things develop, as class struggle develops, states actually get kind of broken down by the movement of capital, and it actually helps us move closer towards socialism. And once the means of production get monopolized enough, as they're becoming more and more monopolized every day, just Google the word merger with Google News or some shit, and you'll see all these big companies they're consolidating, and the group of people that owns everything is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So what's going to happen once it's just a very small group of people? We're just going to say, okay, fuck you guys, this is now public property. And instead of it going to like the Walton family or the Trump family or whatever these billionaire families that own a bunch of shit, they don't do any work. They own stuff, and the hard work is like paperwork and shit like that, where they do that. But it's people everywhere, all over the world, from mining the materials, shipping it around, the kids in China making phones, sending it over here, the distribution, the office workers who used to be a good job, but now it is now the low paid entry level work is office job people wearing suits on food stamps. The world is becoming more and more proletarianized, and things are getting consolidated in smaller and smaller cliques of ownership. And at a certain point, we're just going to say this is now public property, and so the profits of it are not going to go to these families. They're going to go to fund things like healthcare or things that are actually necessary, instead of pushing for higher and higher profits for these competing groups because they don't want to get overtaken by this other competing group where it's going to take it from all of them and say, fuck y'all, you can work like the rest of us now. And that's what's going to happen. It's a prophecy that I wrote of in my book. You should check it out. And I hope that this explains why nationalists believe things that are factually inaccurate. Have a nice day.